Mobile sports betting is finally legal in Ohio, and BetQL is here to help you make the most informed bets possible. See all of today's best bets by heading to BetQL.com or by downloading the BetQL app. Claim your free 3-day trial today. Head to BetQL.com/news/923 The Fan for those exclusive sportsbook offers.
It's always game day in Cleveland. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at GameDayCLE. He's Daryl Ruiter. I'm Andy Baskin, still sifting through the aftermath of the 28-3 loss to the Baltimore Ravens in the fourth game of the season that leaves the Browns at 2-2. Daryl, so when we last left last segment, we talked about, okay, because I had looked at you at one point. I'm like, well, they had this game plan in place. They think they have a backup quarterback who's the perfect complement to their starting quarterback. And maybe you can understand why they ran the plays they did. The more I started thinking about it, and I don't know if you did too, but why wouldn't you start leaving, maybe two running backs in the backfield? Why wouldn't you try to throw a bubble screen or just a straight screen, or try to, he's a pretty mobile quarterback. How about a little run option? Do some of that stuff. And that, I think, is the thing that irritated most Browns fans, especially after I talked to a ton of them today, is like, why didn't they run super safe plays that might have got the running game established a little bit more? My argument back to them is the Ravens are a top 8 team against the run in the NFL, and I just don't know if that's a wise choice. The other problem was he was just ineffective throwing the ball, and I think people got mad about the gadget play, especially on 3rd and 1, when all you needed was a yard to go forward, and they went with the same situation that they had been doing before, where you take the tight end, you run him from the slot into the middle, you come under center, and then you snap it and go forward. But in the scenario yesterday, and we talked about it, the play to me looked like it was the right play because the Ravens had a spy, and they knew that he was going to do that. So he plugged the hole right away. So now instead of having to go up against 2 guys, he had to go against 3 guys. So it's hike, and then it's pitch the ball back to DTR. And I didn't have a problem with that. The question is what should have happened next? And, they tried to throw it to Amari Cooper. It was woefully underthrown, but the beauty is that he was double teamed, and the defenders didn't realize how underthrown it was, and they ended up with pass interference. So the play actually worked, but it wasn't executed anywhere near the way it should have been.
Right. So, and in the interest of fairness, so this is our official game book.
Right.
Okay. And this is how the first drive scripts will go. So I do want to be fair because it was very critical of the game plan. So here's how the play-by-play was described. Okay, remember, first play of the game was a 26-yard run by Jerome Ford that got called back because Amari Cooper was flagged for holding. All right. So
that play worked. It's just, but did it work because of the hold? That's the question.
Right. So first pass was short left to DPJ for 7 yards. Then Jerome Ford off left guard lost 2 yards. DTR short middle pass to David Njoku goes for 15, converts the 3rd and 5 for a first down. DTR pass short right to Harrison Bryant for 2 yards. DTR short middle incomplete to Donovan Peoples-Jones. DTR incomplete short right to Elijah Moore. So to be fair, because I was very critical of the game plan, to be fair, these were termed short passes.
High confidence plays.
High confidence plays to get him into a little bit of rhythm. But again, this is also the same game plan. This is what they do with Deshaun, right? Second drive, Jerome Ford, right tackle, 7 yards. DTR, incomplete, deep middle to Amari Cooper. That was the ball that almost got intercepted and
that was ugly.
It was terribly thrown, right?
Yeah.
DTR, deep left for Amari Cooper, picked off. So on the second drive, okay, fine. We did some short stuff on the first drive. Now we're going to take some shots on the second drive. Turns out to be a disaster. Then comes drive number 3, which turned into the clown car show. Cue yakety sacks. Kareem Hunt goes left guard 6 yards. Kareem Hunt left guard 4 yards. Kareem Hunt right tackle 2 more yards. Are you sensing a pattern? Boom.
Yes.
3 plays, 12 yards. So now let's start throwing the football. DTR, short right to Elijah Moore for 7. This is the direct snap to Harrison Bryant. DTR then throws it deep to Amari Cooper on the pitch. They get the pass interference that basically gifts them 37 yards for doing something incredibly stupid. Elijah Moore loses 20 yards.
Yeah, that was a bad play.
And then DTR up the middle for 4. He gets flagged for an illegal forward pass. DTR then with a 5-yard completion, Jerome Ford to the 35. Enter your hero and now my hero and favorite player on the team, Dustin Hopkins, to boot the 53-yard field goal and go 3 for 3 beyond 50 yards. So that is the script. That is what is referred to as the script, or basically the first 15. Those first 3 drives right there. And I lost count. I don't know if there was 15 plays they read. I know that wasn't the most entertaining to listen to, but I wanted to be accurate in what the play-by-play was in those situations. So first drive started off, high confidence passes, boom, boom, boom. Didn't really do much of anything. Second drive, got cute, went deep a couple of times, got picked off. Third drive, clown car show, and you had to ultimately settle for a 53-yard field goal when you should have been able to drive down the field and possibly get a touchdown. But again, the head coach got cute and stupid, and so that's what you ended up with. And by the way, that was it for the offense the rest of the afternoon, because they did basically nothing the rest of the way. Couldn't get a running game going. And again, DTR not in a good position to be successful. I don't know why they didn't just run some real easy. There were at least 4 plays when I went back and watched it, Andy, where he was running around like a chicken with his head cut off.
Because he's a rookie playing in his first game, and he's trying to do too much. I thought that was the problem.
Yeah, like he didn't know what to do. He looked like at times he did not know what to do. And I want to be crystal clear here. I'm not criticizing DTR. He was put in a position that he wasn't ready for, and that's on the organization. The organization should have recognized, but see, the organization did what I do, what you do, what fans do. They got excited about preseason football, which doesn't mean diddly squat.
No, I mean, you walk in the stadium, and before the first drive, and when the offense took the field, it was DTR, DTR. I mean, the bowl was electric. It was absolutely electric. And the people that I had walked around, I was like, we got his guy making his first start. I'm a little worried about that. And they're like, oh man, he looks so good in the preseason. He's just going to be like Deshaun Watson light. Like someone actually said that to me, and I was like, okay, I hope you're right. Yeah. I hope you're right.
They made the fatal mistake that I make, that you make, and fans make, and that was and again, I'm not taking anything away from how DTR performed in the preseason. I praised him left and right and said that he earned the second quarterback job. It was hard to argue with what you saw.
I mean, there were national folks going, man, if they try to sneak him through on the practice squad, it ain't going to happen. He's going to get picked up somewhere.
Right. And so they trade Josh Dobbs. And as I said on the postgame pod, like the 2 players they missed desperately were Josh Dobbs and Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb ain't walking through the door until the middle of next season. And Josh Dobbs was traded. Now, I don't know if Josh Dobbs would have done much better yesterday, or on Sunday, I should say, as we record.
Or Jacoby Brissett. That was another one people kept, why did they let him go?
Jacoby Brissett probably would have, because seasoned veteran has started before. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they would have been in better shape.
The game plan wouldn't have worked as well because he's not a mobile quarterback, but I know he would have handled it better. And I think,
the offensive line would have been partying after the game because they know he gets rid of the ball really quick.
Right.
Right.
And it was let's be honest about it. It was a tough day for the offensive line yesterday. They struggled in the run game. They struggled in pass protection because, again, they were dealing with a young, inexperienced quarterback. But the reason I'm not criticizing DTR is because I thought he was set up to fail. I didn't feel like they put him in if I felt like they had put him in a position to be successful, right? And like we knew on Wednesday he was starting, and I knew he took the first team reps during practice last week, the vast majority of them. Kevin Stefanski did mention that there were a few sprinkles in there with Deshaun. But okay, maybe I'd be a little tougher on DTR for that performance, but I just don't think that Kevin Stefanski position. I kind of feel like here's what Kevin Stefanski is, right? Mm-hmm. I feel like he is a stubborn coach sometimes, in that this is Cleveland Browns football. This is how we play, and this is our offense. This is our system, right? And again, he was the king of pivoting during COVID. Anything that got thrown his way, he found a way around it. And I don't, in spite of what he said, I don't think he pivoted. I don't think he pivoted enough to put DTR in better positions. Okay.
That's
And
all he talks about is trying to put his players in better positions. So just hold that thought for a second because we're going to come back in a minute. And I also have to ask you a question. Could this become a locker room divided because of what happened? I'm going to ask you that question when we come back. It's always game day in Cleveland. He's Daryl Ruiter. I'm Andy Baskin.